Welcome to The Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. I get a lot of questions about this, and I got this question a few times, and I don't know if it's because I posted something up in my stories about newsletters, about joining my newsletter, and I guess that's what prompted people to ask, how do they get people to subscribe to their newsletter? Well, I do get a version of that question every so often. And the easy answer to that is you need to create some sort of free resource. The free resource that I wrote myself, not something that we're not plagiarizing around here, okay? I wrote I think it's like a 3 or 4 page document about Branding 101. Your brand story, how to develop your brand story, how to find your brand voice, all of these different things. So I had all these different points in this document. And I was going to sell it at one point. But I said, you know what, this is stuff that I have learned over the years from hunting and gathering information. So I said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set it up as a freebie, and I'm going to get people to download it. So that's what I did. I set it up as a freebie, and then people download it, right? But you have to, here are the steps for everything. First of all, you got to find a good email newsletter provider. I can tell you what I use. I use MailChimp. I know a lot of people don't give out their information, but I do, because we're all here to win. I use MailChimp. I've been using MailChimp probably more than 10 years. I have never had a problem at all. I use MailChimp. I can segment out my different people into different lists and all of that. It's all good. MailChimp has never failed me. Okay, so find your email provider, your newsletter provider. That's what you want to find. Okay, and it just allows you to build your newsletter in there. You can make it whatever colors you want. You know, a newsletter is just kind of like almost like a mini vlog, a mini just a rundown of what's happening with your company, any specials that you have going on, events that you have coming up, that sort of thing, right? Okay, so that is your first thing, is to pick your newsletter service provider, right? The second thing, which we already talked about, is to create some sort of free content, some sort of swipe file, some sort of PDF that has all these great nuggets of information that you have come up with. Do not copy somebody else's work and then try to come on and send it out to people. Even though you may not be charging for it, it's still kind of a, not so great thing to do, right? So make sure it's an original work. Do that. So I gathered up all different types of information about branding, right? All the different points about branding, and I called it the Branding 101 doc, right? So create your freebie, all right? The third thing is, how are people going to know about it? Well, you have to talk about it. And that means going on IG Live. That means going on Facebook Live. I can't even, and I'm sorry, I'm not I'm not editing this. I was just yawning for a second. This is the real deal here. It's going on 3:00 in the morning, but I'm batch recording right now, so you gonna get this podcast, all right? Yeah, you have to be diligent about putting the information out about what you have available. You would be surprised. Sometimes I lax with this too. And really, I think I've talked about this before. What it really is that I'm not great at self-promotion. I will promote the mess out of my clients, but it is so hard for me to self-promote. I'm still a work in progress with that. And you would think, as much as I love to converse with people and have conversation, explain things and talk, I am not good at self-promotion. So I try to find other ways to promote my business that doesn't have that spotlight, like jazz hands. Like I'm not a, spotlight type of person like that. But if I need to be, I need to be. And I have needed to be. So I had to learn to get past that. So so you're going to promote that freebie as much as possible. Not to the point of getting annoying, but somewhere right under that radar, right? We don't want people to start saying, oh Lord, here they come again. Oh Lord. We don't want that. But make sure that you let people know what they're going to get in the document, right? Give them some, juicy points that's going to be in the document and get them to sign up. And they get on your newsletter mailing list that way, all right? Because they go to the website, they go to your website, they put their email address in, it gets them on your mailing list. I call my folks my VIPs, puts them on the mailing list. The people that are on the mailing list always get information first. I release sales to my email list people before I release them online. When there are events that I'm doing, and I actually have a few events coming up very soon, I make sure I put them through the newsletter before they go out to the public. So people on the newsletter, they've been shopping, they've known about the events, they've known about the new product drops and all that sort of stuff long before the other folks. Because sometimes I even do it a few days before, so that my VIP mailing list people have been shopping for a week, buying up the nice t-shirts and mugs and all that stuff. Listen, there's strategy to everything, okay? And then the final thing, when they download the particular document, and if it's a PDF or whatever the case may be, make sure when they put their email address in that that's not all there is. You know what I mean? Don't just make it the document. When you get my Branding 101 document, you get a whole email. It's not long, it's only a couple paragraphs, but it's kind of like, welcoming them to the Onyx Queen Media extended family. And here is a great document that talks about branding for your individual self or even for products or whatever you have going on. And that is such an impactful thing to people. And you type it as if you are talking to them, like, hey, thank you so much for downloading my Branding 101 document. If you're looking for more information, that is an opportunity for you to sell. Click on this link and you'll find more goodies. You know what I mean? That I can share with you. So you're going to have some sets of free things and then some sets of paid things. So a masterclass, don't do all your masterclasses for free. You can do the first one for free, but don't do them all for free, because then people are not going to respect your business if everything is always free all the time, and they're not going to want to pay you when it's time to pay you. So don't do everything for free. Be very strategic with that, right? So let's recap again. This is how you can get your initial subscribers to your newsletter. And that is, you need to choose a newsletter service, something like MailChimp or Constant Contact. I use MailChimp many years and it's been fine. The second thing is to create a freebie. So create some sort of document of best practices in business, tips or whatever. If you're into horticulture, give some tips on great fertilizer, or things that people can use around the house to spruce up their plants, And when I talk about that, it could be eggshells. My aunt used to do that all the time, put eggshells in her plants because the protein from the eggshells and all of that would be within the soil, and it really does help them to flourish and grow, right? So put together these points of things that people may not have thought of, something very niche in your arena, right? And promote it. That's the third thing. Promote it. Promote that freebie. If people don't know about it, how they gonna buy it? If they don't know about it, how are they gonna buy it? So you gotta promote it. Promote it. Talk about it whenever you can. Don't annoy people, but make sure you promote, right? And then when they go to download that document, that PDF or whatever it is that you're sending them, make sure that you have started the conversation off with a welcome, right? Make sure that the email is just not the download and one sentence. Welcome them and then talk about other services. It's an opportunity for you to talk about other services that your business has, right? So again, it's not that hard to do. The thing about social media as well, and just this whole business game, is that it sometimes can be very tedious. These are some tedious steps. You got to come up with a freebie. You got to promote it. Listen, it will pay off, but you have to get started. You have to get started. So that is how you start your email list to get your first initial subscribers. I hope that this answers the young lady's question. She didn't even have any idea of what was a good newsletter system to use. I stand by MailChimp. MailChimp has been wonderful for me, and I've been using them over a decade. All right. I would say second to that, maybe Constant Contact. I used to use Constant Contact back in the day, but once MailChimp started adding some other capabilities, Constant Contact became irrelevant for me at that point. But Constant Contact is another good one. But yeah, keep these things in mind. Build those email lists, because let me tell you something. Social media doesn't belong to you. And I know I've said this in another podcast. Social media does not belong to you. So whenever something happens on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and they decide, they feel like blocking you today, whatever the case may be, just remember, there's nothing you can really do about it, because social media does not belong to you. But your email list is priceless, right? Because you now have people's emails. You can email any special things that are happening with your business. And I'm telling you, email and text message marketing is still a thing. Believe me when I tell you. So I bid you adieu. If you want to find me on Instagram, please do, at Onyx Queen Media. And if you want to email me, feel free. hello@onyxqueenmedia.com. I'll talk to you tomorrow, you guys. Bye. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.